Blog Talk Radio.
Yo, Bantam.
¿Cuál onda, Pelancho?
¿Qué es lo que está sonando por ahí?
Un par de vainas y que.
Acabo de llegar a mi país.
Suave, voy a esa vaina.
Acabo de llegar a mi país, uy, y que es lo que yo escucho por ahí, rapeadores que están pegados, tan sonados, ¿cómo va a ser? Con puro ritmo baiteado. Acabo de llegar a mi país, uy, y que es lo que yo escucho por ahí, rapeadores que están pegados, tan sonados, ¿cómo va a ser? Con puro ritmo baiteado.
Ellos son pura copia, siempre fotocopia, el mismo ringtone pero desde otro Nokia, enredando a la gente con esa basofia, así que flow de paquete y directo de copia, a mí no me interesa de dónde tu flow, así que deja la pereza, y pónganse a escribir que eso da de tristeza a estas alturas.
All right, it's Tuesday night, and that means time for the Jeff Mayweather Radio Show. My name is Alex Iserman, and I'm joined here by, of course, the guy who, without him, there'd be no Jeff Mayweather Show. Jeff, how are you, and welcome back to Vegas.
Well, I'm good. And yourself?
Not too bad. Just got back from Florida, huh? You were dodging a hurricane there, or thinking you might be?
Yeah, it was, well, I mean, I was lucky I got out of there in time. But, you know, I mean, it was much needed rest for me. So I enjoyed my stay down there because I was only training one person, you know, as opposed to probably about 16 a day. So, I mean, for me, it was just about rest and relaxation. And unfortunately, you know, the fight didn't happen because, you know, there was a threat of the hurricane coming.
Yeah, I guess most people didn't know you were down there, so tell people you're down there, who you're training, for what fight.
Well, basically, I was there for Derek Gainer, Smoke Gainer, a former featherweight champion of the world, and he's making a comeback. He still has a lot left, you know, but I mean, he's 40 years old, so he can't afford to have any slip-ups along the way. But he's going to give it one last run, and, you know, he chose me to be the guy that worked with him and hopefully can get him back to at least to the title opportunity, if not win the title itself.
So, you know, before you'd worked with, you know, almost exclusively heavyweights, and then, you know, you're mentioning here, you know, another featherweight. Is that something that Celestino Caballero kind of opened the doors for? You know, he was the first smaller guy you'd work for, and did he kind of, you know, pave the way for you to work for other smaller guys?
No. I've been working with guys all different weight classes. I mean,
well, you said before you'd always worked with, you know, the bigger guys like Sultan and, you know, and those and Shannon Briggs and those kind of guys.
No, I mean, the thing is this. I mean, you know, as far as, you know, from a monetary standpoint, I mean, everyone wants a heavyweight, especially if you can get a top 10. I mean, that's where the money's is. The money's
unless their last name's Pacquiao or Mayweather, right?
Exactly. You know, if you don't have one of those two fighters, you know, I mean, you're not seeing a whole lot of money. I ain't gonna say everybody, because some guys are making pretty good money nowadays. So, but the heavyweights always.
Yeah, even the guys that are on the fringe there, they're making, you know, pretty decent money. In a few minutes, we're going to be joined here, of course, by, you know, you've seen the promotions by Laila Ali, waiting for her to call in. Looking forward to that. You know, most people know that she was trained by Roger, but, yeah, you had quite a bit of experience with her yourself, huh?
Oh, yeah. I used to always help Laila get ready for a fight, you know, for a lot of her fights. Not all of them, but for a lot of her fights, I used to help her get ready for a fight, and, you know, and I mean, I found out she's very talented and can punch a little bit, you know. But I mean, she's always been cool from day one since I met her. I mean, she's been a real cool person.
What's it like, you know, sparring with a woman? Do you feel yourself? I don't want to say intimidated. It's probably the wrong word, but you know, wanting to hold back or afraid, or you know, or do you know once they hit you the first time, you know, it kind of all just kicks in and it's just another person.
No, I mean, me, myself, personally, I mean, no, I would never spar hard with a woman, you know, I mean, because, I mean, I know that, you know, realistically, a woman can't fight to my skill level. And then the size doesn't matter. I mean, she's still a woman. And, but, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, but a woman can still hit and can still punch, sometimes just as hard as a man can.
Well, now you might have the skill level, but of course, you were never known for your punching power, so maybe the power is about even, right?
Nah, I mean, punching power or not, I mean, I was probably one of the hardest fighters in the world at one time.
Yeah. So I mean, I want to wait for a lot of stories once she gets on here. But what was it like when she came in? Was there a ton of attention around her? I mean, I guess you're used to it. With being around, being a member of the Mayweathers, used to the attention. But when she first came into when you first started working with her and she was around you guys, what was it like being around her?
I mean, to me, I mean, it was no different than anyone else. I mean, it was just. She happened to be, her last name happened to be Ali. And, and of course you had to get to know a person for who they are, and not just from namesake. And, like I said, when I first met Laila, I mean, we hit it off very well. And, and I felt that, after working with her and dealing with her, not just on, with the boxing and stuff, but working with her on a business level and, and we became pretty good friends. So, so it became like she was just another person to me.
Were you surprised that she got? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just said I just wanted to see her do well because she worked extremely hard.
Now she didn't stay in the sport that long. She is 24-0, I believe, was the final record. Kind of went through everybody, and then just kind of left. Were you surprised she left when she did, or do you think she got out at the right time?
No, I think what she did was perfect because, I think that you get in the sport, you achieve what you want to, and you reach your plateau, and it's time to move on. It's time to move on to something else. I mean, especially when you're a woman, and Laila, she wanted to have kids, she wanted to settle down, so. I think the time was perfect for her.
And the great thing about her is that, unlike, a lot of athletes that, especially one with her, who kind of, initially got her first break because of who she was, what her last name was. But, she was able to capitalize on that, use it to her advantage. But then, she's kind of, she's out. She stepped out of her father's shadow, and she is completely, her own person, and she succeeded outside of the ring, and gone on to do so many other things. I mean, were you surprised that she had it in her to step out of the boxing ring and be just as, or if not, more famous, outside of the ring?
Well, I've never seen that coming, but also I know that at one point in time there was a lot of offers that would come, a lot of calls would come, wanting to do endorsements and things like that, with Laila, but they never came into fruition during that time. So it's kind of funny to see her be, out of the spotlight in a sense, but still have, the endorsement that she should have capitalized off on when she was actually a fighter.
Well, we're still waiting for her to call in, so we'll get back to talking to her as soon as she calls in. Huge month coming up here in September, Jeff. It's some people say it's the biggest month ever for boxing. September 8th, you got the Devin Alexander fight. You got September 15th, of course, two big fights. Which fights are you really looking forward to this coming up month? And what are your thoughts on them?
Well, you also have the other fight with Andre Ward and Devin Alexander fight is actually going to be clashing on the same day. Those fights are both on September 8th. And
right.
I think it's great for the boxing fans. I think that you have a good fight between Devin Alexander and Randall Bailey. You have an excellent fight between Dawson and Ward, and of course, the fight with Chavez, and Martinez is going to be a great fight as well. So it's great to be a boxing fan, I think, in this month.
Now the four fights there, if which one do you think, if you had to pick, which one do you think is going to be the most exciting? If you could only watch one, which one do you want to see?
If I had to spend my money to see it, I would say I would.
No, that would kill you, I bet.
Of course, I'm never going to spend the money to go through a fight, so I'm just hypothetically speaking. But if I had to, it would be Chavez and Martinez, because I just think that that's going to be a pretty good fight.
All right, well, Jeff, actually, Layla just called in, so we're going to bring her on, and I'm going to actually let you introduce her to the crowd there. So, Jeff, tell us a little about Layla.
Well, I mean, Layla's, I would say, especially during her time of boxing, I mean, she was probably the first lady of boxing, and she made the sport popular for women. I mean, it went to a level where, I mean, so many, women came out that was actually had, fathers that was also great in the sport. But, Layla, she kind of like, when she got it, once she got a chance to get in the door, she just knocked the door down and she kept going. And, she's done well for herself, not just in boxing, but, in endorsements and other things. I mean, she's on TV every time I turn the TV on. Laila Ali.
Well, except you weren't watching yesterday or for her show that she's been on, Stars and Stripes. And let's go ahead and bring her in. Laila, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for joining Jeff and I. Love to talk to you a little bit about Stars and Stripes here in a few minutes, but first let's go back and talk a little bit about your time with Jeff. I know there's probably some good stories there. So what was it like working with Jeff? Most people didn't know that you and Jeff worked quite a bit in the ring together.
Well, I used to live in Las Vegas, trained in Las Vegas. I trained with his brother, Roger Mayweather, and Jeff was in the gym also. And, of course, you always soak up all the knowledge you can when you're around these guys because they know so much. They've been in the game so long. Jeff was actually one of my sparring partners. He did a little work with me from time to time when my sparring partners didn't show up. Jeff, go on and tell him I'll put them things on you. I was just joking. But, Jeff was great because he really helped me with my speed and my being slick, because he wasn't easy to hit. So, I appreciate all the work that he gave me.
Going back a little before that. Oh, go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
No, I said, I told you, Chuck. I was hard to hit.
He said what?
Oh, that's before you got on. I guess you weren't here listening, so he was talking trash. He was saying that no woman could hit him, and he had too many skills, but he gave you good work.
Yeah. No, he did. He got hit by me a few times. Don't let him fool you, but he is hard to hit.
Yeah, Jeff, tell me the story you were telling me earlier.
Oh, no, it was the one time when, Layla was like, I don't know if she was just having a bad day or whatever, but I was fine with her, and she was coming real hard. And then, she was coming so hard, and I was making fun of her, and I was like, and I think it was like a tear or something came out of her. I said, well, ain't no crying in boxing. And next thing I know, bam! I said, whoa! Not bragging. He's talking trash, bro.
It's all good. It's all good.
Going back before that, Layla, just when you first decided to get into boxing, carrying that last name, were you ever nervous about, or thinking about not wanting to get into the sport just because there's, no matter what you did, it was more than likely you wouldn't be able to live up to the legacy of, possibly the greatest fighter of all time, and I don't even think it's arguable anymore, the most famous person in the world. Were you ever nervous about getting in just because of the legacy you had to uphold?
Not really, just for a couple reasons. First and foremost, I've never been concerned about my father. I have a lot of the same attributes and qualities that my dad has, and I think very highly of myself. I have very high expectations of myself. So it was never a thing about trying to live up to him. It was really about living up to my own expectations. And then aside from that, even if, realistically, people didn't really expect me to be like my father because they, first of all, didn't think that it was possible for me as a woman to be as good as my father in the first place. So I think that question will probably come into play more if I was a boy. If I was a man and I started fighting, then people would really put me up there with my dad. For me, it's like they don't expect that anyway. So, I wasn't really concerned about that, and that's just not how I live my life, because once you get in the shadow and try to worry about staying in the shadow, then you'll never get out of it. So I had to really do my own thing.
Do you think that's kind of what's led you to be so successful? Because there's so many stories of children of famous people that have had not done well for themselves. Do you think you're not trying to live up to that? That's what actually helped make you as successful as you are?
Well, definitely. I mean, that helps, but I think you also have to have the talent to do what you're trying to do. So, what people don't realize about me is I'm very ambitious, and I always have been. So even if I wasn't boxing, I'll be successful at something else. So, that was just one thing that I wanted to do, one thing that I conquered, and there's so many other things. I mean, before I started boxing, at 16 years old, I went to school to learn how to do nails. By the time I was 18, I had my own nail salon. I mean, what 18-year-old that's living on her own, in school full-time, and has a nail salon, a successful nail salon, supporting herself? So that's just, I'm an independent person. I put my mind to something, and I just go do it. So that's why I'm able to do all the things that I'm doing now. I'm prepared to do the hard work, and, I make my mind up and I go for it. So it's the same with boxing. And I think that with boxing, you definitely have to have talent. It doesn't matter how confident you are or, anything, what's going on in your head. You got to make sure you're doing what you got to do in that ring. And that's what a lot of people fail to realize, that I was very serious about it, very dedicated to it, and worked just as hard as any of the other champions that you see now, male or female. So, I get the most scrutiny and negativity from other people in female boxing, because a lot of them have animosity towards me. Had it then, still have it now. Had it when I was boxing because they were mad because I was getting all the attention. Now they're mad because I left boxing and they think I don't give back. It's like you can't please everybody. So I just got to do what I do.
Yeah. Well, that's what we had talked about before you called on. It's amazing that all the things that you have done afterwards. You've done modeling, you've done hosted TV shows, you've written. I mean, there's so many things you've done, and it's amazing that, like you said, the ambition just to accomplish so many things. You've done more. You're 34 years old, I think. And you're short. I guess I'm not supposed to say it with a lady, but in a short lifetime, you've done so much more than most people do in a lifetime.
Well, I that I have a lot of opportunities, and they all stem from my success in the ring. I can always remember. I always remember when I first turned pro, or announced that I was in a box, that to a lot of people it was a joke, it was a publicity stunt, and, I was very focused and serious. I turned down a lot. I could have been a lot further now if I would have taken, I'm offered movies and everything. I turned it down because I was like, no, because I was trying to prove something. And I was younger, and I was worried about what people would think, and I just wanted, and not only that, but I just wanted to stay focused on boxing, because I know that with boxing, you have to stay focused, because if you start doing too much outside of the ring, you can kind of get soft in the ring. At least that was my belief. So, like I said, I just try to do the best that I can and stay focused on what it is I'm doing, not spread myself too thin. And, it works out for me. I've had a lot of no's. I've had doors closed in my face as well along the way. There's other things I've tried to do that haven't been successful yet, but that's okay. I just keep working at it, keep trying.
Well, tell us about how you hooked up with the Mayweathers.
My ex-husband was a fighter, and when he came into my life, he thought that at a certain point it was time for me to step my game up, and Roger Mayweather was the trainer that he thought would be best for me, so we moved out to Las Vegas, and I started training with Floyd, and Roger. Roger was great as far as just getting my punch count up, with the combinations and everything, and then there came a point where it's like, okay, I need to make another change, and so you just kind of make changes as you go, but that's pretty much it, my husband knew the Mayweathers, had history with them, and Roger was interested in training me, and we just kind of went from there. I've also trained with Floyd Sr. at one point, and of course I've worked with Jeff in the past, so, I got the whole family.
Yeah, for the poor little brother, you train with the other brothers, and you just beat up on the little brother, huh? So,
he beat up on me too. He beat up on me too now.
Jeff, what were your impressions? I mean, when you first saw her in the ring, did you think she was, when you first saw her working, did you think she was going to be all hype? And then, when you first saw her skills, were you impressed?
Well, I mean, the one thing is this, of course, I mean, with the name, I mean, it carries a lot of weight. And, of course, I mean, the expectations are extremely high. But the one thing I see with Laila is that, I mean, I don't know if she, cared about what her name was. I mean, she worked so hard. I mean, I see, that's the one thing that I seen in her, that she worked so hard because, I mean, she didn't even have an amateur career. So, I mean, when you have an amateur career and you just jump into the sport, I mean, and to be able to even achieve just one thing that she's done, just to win one world title, even fight for a world title, I mean, that's astronomical. But, at the same time, I mean, that's the one thing that I saw in her, that, she had drive and determination and will, and it all showed. I mean, she had a brilliant career and was able to walk away, undefeated, and had multiple world titles. So, you can't say nothing bad about that.
Unfortunately, I could just say that unfortunately in women's boxing, my weight class just didn't have as much talent as some of the lighter weight classes for women. And, that was always a struggle for me, because you got a handful of girls that could actually fight, you know what I mean, and could actually give me competition. Then you got the ones that could fight a little bit more, but they wouldn't fight me, but they would tell the public that it was me that didn't want to fight them. It was just irritating. And that was one of the reasons I just decided to just retire, because I just wasn't inspired anymore. I just got tired of the lies and, people thinking it was me. And it's like, one thing about me is my character is everything to me. You know what I mean? And integrity. And one thing I'm not is a chump. I'll fight anybody. Like, I'm not afraid of an ass whooping. Like, you get your ass whooped, you get your ass whooped. You gotta just take the ass off and just say, you're the woman. Can you give me a rematch? That's not a scary thing. Now, I'm not planning on letting that happen. But at the end of the day, that's not anything to run from, because that's boxing. You know what I mean? My dad has lost fights. He's still the greatest of all time. So that's just not me. So that was one of the things that for me was very frustrating. I couldn't even really spar with women, because I could get women, fly them in, spar them once, they're ready to go home. It's like they couldn't hang, and that doesn't help me. So that's why a lot of the times, I'd be sparring with the guys. So, I have a really bittersweet feeling towards boxing, because I feel like I didn't get to really fight some of the girls that I wanted to fight. It's just like, you get to a certain level where it's just, I had better fights in the gym sparring with the guys than actually in my pro fights. You know what I mean? Sure. So to me, that, it's kind of irritating. Jeff will tell you, Jeff, I can fight.
Well, I'd say, I guess, the most notable one was Ann Wolfe, who's claimed a lot of times that you had ducked her.
Oh, God, that's the main one. Please, you don't even know how much sleep I've lost over this girl, and I will say it because that it gets under my skin. This woman won't even look me in the eye, and I mean that literally. Whenever we're around one another, she won't even get on the phone with me, because I've tried calling her, like, would you please just stop running your damn mouth? Like, if you don't want to fight, that's one thing, but stop saying that you want to fight me, because that's not the case. 3 times we were supposed to fight. Each time she pulled out. So really, it's like she'd rather just go down in history is the woman that I was afraid of, that I would never fight, and actually get in there and get her ass whooped. Don't get me wrong, she can punch, she's strong, but if you compare our fighting skills, I'm way faster than her. She wears out after 3 rounds. She can't take a punch. She's been knocked out by Valerie Mahfoud, who I whooped twice like she was my child. And trust me, as fighters, we know Valerie Mahfoud is nowhere near as strong as I am, and she's knocked Ann Wolfe out. And then they had 2 fights after that, and they were tough fights for Ann Wolfe. And I'm telling you, that girl, that's the strongest girl she's ever fought. So Ann Wolfe is naturally a 154. She's not even physically as big as I am. And people don't realize that because of the way she looks, because she has those big arms, because she has a little tough background story. But at the end of the day, I'm the one that has a million other things I could be doing, and I box just because I love to box. So who you think is crazier, the person that they can't do, that's all they can do, or the person that chooses to do this? So it's like, I'm not going to do this. If I'm going to be afraid to fight certain people, then I just wouldn't even fight. It just doesn't work that way. Not with the family name that I have. I wouldn't even disgrace my family like that. So I'm sorry.
Jeff,
I
think you're lucky you're not in the ring with her right now, Jeff, or I think you might be in trouble. Sounds like she's ready to beat up on somebody.
No. That just always, trust me. I will fight her for free before, trust me. And I hear she's doing a documentary now, and I'm like, they better not even mention my name in that documentary. You're going to hear about me up at her gym, calling her out, let's get in the ring. Because, right, Jeff, any fighter should be able to go at least 3 rounds, right, at any time, right?
Yes.
Right? Okay, so don't let me go out there to Texas and call her out. She'll have to get in the ring. And we're going to bring a camera, Jeff, and we're going to talk about it on your show. Yeah, got me started talking about her. Anyway, sorry.
All right, well, we got like 4 minutes left here, so as much as I'd love to carry that on, I do want to talk a little bit about Stars Earn Stripes. Tell us about your experience. Unfortunately, you lost yesterday, but the one thing I want to say, it kind of seemed like the elimination challenge a little unfair, right? Because, Nick O'Shea, who knocked you out, he'd already had practice on that, the episode before. So, tell us about the show.
No. It wasn't unfair. It wasn't unfair. I mean, I did you see the smile on my face when they told me I was going home? I was actually okay with it. It was a little bit much for me. I was fine. I was fine with it. But it was a great opportunity to just give back to our veterans and pay homage to them and shine a good light on them. And the show was a great experience for me. It was scary for me, just some of the things that I was doing, being that I have a 17-month-old and a 4-year-old. I just found myself thinking, like, why am I doing this for this TV show? Like, it's not this serious. So I didn't, at times, I feared for my life. So when it was time to go home, I was like, okay, well, I'm good. I made it through a few missions. I'm good. But, and then, of course, my operative, his wife was ready to have a baby any day. So I felt like it was, like, the best thing. And then he wouldn't have been home, if he wouldn't have gotten eliminated that day. So, it was fine. But it was great. It was a great experience. And the reason why I did the show in the first place is just I like a challenge, and I'm just kind of like, you retire, and all athletes go through that. Like, what am I going to do now? Boxing was my first love. Trust me, all this other stuff that I do because I'm a businesswoman, but I don't get the same joy and satisfaction out of it as I did when I was fighting,
Right. But no more rappelling off of buildings for you, though?
No. We're good. You will never see me bungee jumping, hang gliding, jumping off a building, nothing. That's just not natural for black people anyway, don't you know?
I can't speak on that, but I did notice that, and not the stereotype, but I noticed that Dovette and Terry had a problem in the water in the first one.
Yes, and all 3 black people went home first, right? I felt bad. I was like, oh man, I can't be the third one to go. The pressure was on me, but hey, I just couldn't shoot. Just not a shooter. So I don't shoot for it.
Well, that would have been pretty cool for you, though. Everyone knew you could, kick ass with your fist, but you got to blow up stuff and shoot things. And I'm a military veteran myself, but I never got to do any of that stuff, so I was actually kind of jealous of you.
Oh wow! Well, thank you for your service. But it was a lot of fun. Those guns, and it was, some of them were dangerous guns. Like that 50 cal. You don't load it right, it could blow up. They told me that. I'm like, well, what do you have me doing this for? Like, so it was just, it was interesting, but it was fun. So I definitely, I think maybe I can use that for action reels, for action movies. So don't be surprised you see me in an action movie next.
I wouldn't put it past you because, you've done everything else. Like I said, you've cooked, you've modeled, you've wrote books. So, yeah, it'd be the next thing for you. We did put a link up on our site for the Military Child Education Education Coalition. So if folks want to check that out, they can go there and donate or just check out the site because you gave $30,000, I believe it was, for them for what you did there. That was awesome. And just got 1 minute left, Laila, so we appreciate your time. Just tell us, what else you have to plug, the Twitter and all that kind of stuff.
I'm at The Real Laila Ali and on Twitter, and then I have a Facebook page you can like. And, of course, my website, LailaAli.com, and you can always check me out and keep up with what I'm doing. But thanks for having me on the show, and it was great talking to you, Jeff. You have to stay in touch.
Yeah, I wish we had more time. Jeff, go ahead and finish it up. Talk to Laila.
If you ever have Ann Wolfe on, just make sure you call me, too.
Okay.
I think we'll do that.
Yes, let's do it. Just don't tell her
We
I'm
can
coming
never
on.
line
She
it.
won't come on. Don't tell her you're bringing me on, and she won't come on. Trust me.
All right, guys, we're out of time. Thank you so much again. I really appreciate it.
Take care.
Take care, Jeff.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye.